Welcome into the Oh Health Yeah podcast, brought to you by Healthy is Wellness. As you all know, our mission is to empower you to take control of your health and elicit a little bit of curiosity in your life when it comes to the world of wellness. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you have loved ones or friends that you think would benefit from this, share it with them. Let's get this thing going. What is up, Healthy is Wellness family? Thank you so much for tuning in today. What we're going to talk about is different supplements that we believe in, or things that we talk to our clients about. These are things that we utilize in our own lives. And obviously, we are not doctors. So we don't prescribe, we don't diagnose. But these are just some supplements that we use in our own life and that science has shown can be beneficial for people based off of their goals. If you're thinking about using any of these things, talk to your health coach about it or talk to your doctor about it before you do it. Do it smart. But these are some things that we utilize in our own lives that we take on a daily basis. Jumping in right away, the first thing that I'm going to say that I take every single day is creatine monohydrate. I take it in the powdered form. And when you're purchasing something like creatine monohydrates, the biggest thing to do when you look at the back of the bottle, make sure that the only ingredient in it is creatine. Some supplement companies will try to hide other stuff in there to make the product a little bit cheaper or a little bit cheaper for them to make. So make sure that when you're purchasing it, it's straight up creatine monohydrate. I take it in the powdered form. You can also get it in the pill form. And the reason behind creatine, why I like to take it, not only for muscle gain, we know that it helps with muscle gain, but also for cognitive function. I recently saw a statistic that said 75% of the creatine that you take goes into your muscles, 25% of it goes into your brain. So creatine can be extremely beneficial for Alzheimer's dementia risk, as well as cognitive health overall. You got something on creatine?
What are the creatines that people should stay away from? Like, obviously, creatine monohydrate is what we want people to go towards.
Yeah.
What are the ones? Do you know what are the other ones are?
I don't necessarily know because there's a lot of different names out there, but just know that a lot of them are gimmicky and they're trying to get you to pay more money for X thing. But from my understanding and from what science has shown, creatine monohydrate in its simplest form is the most meaningful and the most beneficial both for the body and for cognitive health. Do you see some out there that,
I Googled it. I Googled the wrong types of creatine, and the results that you get are creatine ethyl ester. Research shows it's less effective than monohydrate and breaks down into creatinine more quickly, making it less effective for muscle creatine retention and performance gains. Creatine hydrochloride, marketed as having better solubility and absorption, but there's not enough evidence to prove it's superior to monohydrate. Creatine magnesium chelate, a form of creatine bonded with magnesium, but there's not enough evidence to show it is better than creatine monohydrate. And then you have buffered creatine. I think that's more what you're talking about. In parentheses, it says crealkaline. Claims a higher pH can make it more stable, but scientific evidence does not support its superiority over monohydrate.
yeah. So really, you want creatine in its simplest form. And the cool thing about creatine too is there's science coming out showing that higher dosage can actually be beneficial for you. Obviously, like I said at the beginning, we're not doctors, but I think the recommended daily amount that they want you to take is 5 grams. I take 10 grams a day at least. And on nights where I am up all night with Riot, little man don't sleep, I take even more because it can be extremely beneficial for cognitive function if you're sleep deprived. So the first supplement that we want to talk about today is creatine monohydrate. Anything else on creatine you want to add, Zach, before I jump to the next one?
Do you have a trusted brand for people to check into?
I honestly Google it on Amazon or search it on Amazon. Sorry, not Google it on Amazon. And I buy whatever's cheapest that has the single ingredient of creatine monohydrate.
Gotcha. That's a good
That's the way
tip.
that we do it. Another thing you can do, First Form makes really good creatine as well, Zach. So both of those brands. And the last thing on creatine that I'll share with you guys, fun fact, if you dry scoop creatine, if you just throw it in your mouth, none of it breaks down. If you put it in water or in some form of smoothie, it slowly begins to break down. If you want 100% of the benefits, it's splitting hairs, but you can dry scoop creatine to maximize the benefits. That's what I do every day. These guys watch me do it. It's kind of embarrassing.
Do you have creatine in your truck?
I usually keep it in my truck. Yeah, like right where I keep like water bottles or whatever. I always keep it on hand. You never know.
Or got that thing on your
Exactly.
fireplace. Okay, what's next?
Second supplement that we talk a lot about and something that we recommend people take, especially in Montana, vitamin D3. We like to pair it with K2 because it helps with bioavailability. We test a lot of our clients for vitamin D and see where they're at. But the reason behind vitamin D supplementation is it's not only beneficial for tons of processes that your body's doing naturally, but it's extremely beneficial for cognitive health. The higher your vitamin D levels, oftentimes the better mood, anxiety, depression levels, those things all oftentimes are better when your vitamin D is high, as well as chronic risk. Low vitamin D is associated with tons of chronic risk, whether it's talking about heart disease, cancer risk, all those things. So we love to talk to our clients about taking vitamin D, and when supplementing with vitamin D, can you get vitamin D3 plus K2?
Any tips for brand and for bioavailability? The one thing that I learned about vitamin D is fat soluble, so it's important to have it with food with fats in it. A lot of vitamin Ds that you'll find have MCT oil, which is coconut oil, which is a fat. It's fat. It's pure fat. And vitamin D3 is fat soluble, so it helps your body absorb it a little bit better.
Yeah, take it with food, take it with fat, just like Zach said. And the one that we believe in and we use a lot is Focus Pharmacology. We know that they make clean supplements. That's the one that we take. But wherever you get your supplements, try to get vitamin D3 plus K2. That's the #1 staple when it comes to vitamin D. And whatever company you trust, we trust Focus Pharmacology. That's the one that we utilize. But if you want to do something different, that's totally fine. Just make sure it's D3 plus K2. Anything else on vitamin D?
I think a lot of people get mixed up. Like, we'll have construction workers that are like low in vitamin D, even though they're out in the sun all the time. How much, if 50 to 100, is it nanograms per deciliter? Is that that's the measurement? Is the target. And how close can you get to that without supplementation nowadays?
Honestly, I think it's very dependent on the person. You have to first get tested and figure out where you're at to see where you're sitting, and then base your dosing based around the number, the value that you're at. Because what's interesting about vitamin D is the darker your pigment of skin, the less you absorb.
Huh.
So African American people, or Native American people, they absorb less vitamin D than people that are Caucasian like us do. So keeping in mind, no matter what supplement you're going to take, you want to get tested to see where you're at. And then as you take that supplement, maybe 4 months after you've been using it or 2 months after you've been using it, can you get tested again to see if you're in that low risk zone, is what I would say with that. It's difficult to know without knowing first where the person's at or where they sit.
So, would you recommend that somebody gets tested before they start supplementing vitamin D at all? Like, how, I guess if I was a consumer, which I am, my biggest question for you as a health coach would be, how much should I take? I think that's important, right?
Yeah.
So like my friend Darcy, she lives in Alaska. In a similar vein to the Pacific Northwest, right? They have, I want to say, over 160, 200 days of non-sunshine a year, which significantly statistically affects seasonal affective disorder, vitamin D levels, depression, right? So should she be taking more than me in Montana because we have more sunshine automatically, or should she still go get tested?
I think I'm not a doctor, so I can't say what she should or shouldn't do, but I think getting tested, knowing where you're at is beneficial. But in that situation, if she had, like, I would ask her, do you struggle with anxiety? Do you struggle with depression? If she struggles with those things, maybe starting to supplement would be beneficial. But also, one of the first things I would like her to do is get tested. So I wouldn't say you can't take vitamin D until you know where you're at, because it's very hard to get to a toxicity level to where it negatively impacts the body.
Okay.
So if I was chatting with her and she was struggling with some of those things or had some of the negative side effects of too low vitamin D, I would probably have her start supplementing, but get tested as soon as possible so that we had a starting point.
Yeah.
And then what that also allows us to do is she can get tested 6 months later, and we can know if that vitamin D is actually working for her body or not, because we don't want our clients wasting their money. So first we need to know where they're at to be able to establish, okay, this is where you're sitting today. After 6 months of taking Focus Pharmacologies, let's say, is it actually increasing?
Yeah.
If it is, frick yeah, let's keep doing it. If it's not, then we might need to switch strains.
For sure. When one of the, I mean, the vitamin D test that we use is a brand called Omega Quant. And the cool thing about, for example, Darcy in Alaska, is if you sign up through their website, they'll send you the stuff for you to administer the finger poke yourself, and you mail it out. You don't have to go to a laboratory. You know, it's a 5-minute ordeal, and you're done, and then you get your results online. So I think that's important. I just want to be able to provide the tools for these people, for the people that listen to this podcast, to not have to go a million miles out of their way to find the resources to do this. So if you guys ever have any, sorry, go ahead.
Get shipped to your door.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And if you're a Healthy as Wellness client too, what's cool about the vitamin D thing is even if you get it shipped to your door, if we can get the barcode off of that, it can pop up in your Healthy as Well, this app too. So which is nice.
All right. What else we got?
Third supplement that we take or that we recommend people take, depending on their levels, is omegas. Omega-3. We test a lot of individuals' cholesterol. And what we found often in the state of Montana specifically is that oftentimes people are very low in HDL or high density lipoproteins. We do full cholesterol panels where we look at total, we look at HDL, LDL, triglycerides. But I think the most common thing that we see is a low HDL value. And studies that came out showing that omega supplementation can help to increase HDL, which HDL, if you were to talk to your doctor, they're going to say it's the good form of cholesterol. We like to call it the more efficient form of cholesterol. What it does is it transports vitamins and minerals throughout the body, but taking an omega supplement can help increase the healthy fats in your diet, increasing that HDL value. So omega supplements are something that we talk a lot about with our clients. Myself at least, I utilize the Focus Pharmacology omega supplement. But that's another one that we like to talk to clients about, not only because of the way that it can help with transporting vitamins and minerals throughout the bloodstream, but also high-density lipoproteins are extremely beneficial for cognitive health. So making sure that your HDL levels are where you want them can be good for Alzheimer's dementia risk too. Thoughts on omegas?
Eat fish.
Yeah.
As much as you can, tuna, salmon, cod,
Those are all good ones.
trout, walleye.
Yeah.
Try to get some fish into your diet. It'll be super helpful for your omega levels.
And even like extra virgin olive oil, depending on what oils you cook with at home, the more that you can do olive oil, avocado oil, that can help with HDL levels. But omega is something that...
And this is omega-3, is that right?
Yep.
Not omega-6.
Yeah.
So we're not worried about omega-6.
Yep, you're correct.
And that would be like folic acid?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have one to interject for you. This is a hot topic one that sometimes I've had a conversation with my clients about. And that is, oh my goodness. I've been thinking about it this whole time we've been talking. It's supposed to help with anxiety, helps numb you a little bit. No. Ashwagandha. Ashwagandha. I had a lot of clients come to me about ashwagandha. I've had success with ashwagandha. I think one of the things that is lost in translation with ashwagandha is it's something that has to be cycled. You have to do it, if you're doing it for 3 or 4 weeks. Again, we're not doctors. Do your own research for sure. Do your own looking into the subject, but if you're taking it for 3 weeks, come off of it for a few weeks as well. So
I don't know a ton about it. I've seen studies on blood pressure and how much it helps with blood pressure.
Yeah.
Decreased blood pressure, which makes sense that it would help with anxiety too. But from my understanding, I've never taken it, so I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard positive things about ashwagandha.
Yep. So you Google it, should you cycle ashwagandha? It is widely recommended to cycle ashwagandha to avoid potential tolerance buildup, maximize its effectiveness, and minimize the risk of side effects from long-term continuous use.
Gotcha.
So
Sweet. Heck yeah.
And then you wanted to touch on magnesium.
Last one we'll talk about is magnesium. Zach's going to kind of lead the charge on that one a little bit. But one of our coaches, Misty, whom some of you may have met, some of you haven't. If you haven't yet, you should. She's awesome. She talks a lot about magnesium and the benefits of it. We know that there's benefits when it comes to digestion and sleep and all those things. Zach's going to talk about the different types of magnesium and the different ways that they benefit our body.
It's important that you don't mix these up. Do I necessarily think that it's going to hurt you very badly if you take the wrong one? No, it could. But what I don't want is you guys to hear this podcast and go, oh yeah, I took magnesium citrate to help me with sleep. Don't do that. Please don't do that. You'll poop your pants in your bed. Don't do that. So there's different types of magnesium to help with different things. Magnesium citrate is typically used to help with constipation. Magnesium glycinate is used to help with sleep. Magnesium sulfate is supposed to help with sore muscles. I believe magnesium sulfate is Epsom salt, right? Isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
Let me Google that, fact check myself.
Dang, that's cool.
It is Epsom salt. That's right. Okay, and then we have a few other magnesium threonate is supposed to help with your brain health. What else we got? What can you think of?
Those are kind of the core ones that I think of when I'm thinking magnesium.
We also have
sleep, digestion, cognitive.
Magnesium oxide is supposed to help with heartburn and indigestion. Magnesium chloride is used in topical skin creams and to help relax muscles. That's all I got about magnesium, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So magnesium is an interesting one, and the reason that we're bringing these up is because these things are often things that Americans are low in. Like people are low in magnesium, they're low in vitamin D, their HDL is usually low, and creatine is something that we don't get a lot of as well. Creatine is found in meats, fish, those type of things. But the reason that we bring up those 4 supplements is because we believe that they can be beneficial, but know that we're not doctors and know that you need to base these things off of your goals, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, and also know that these 4 supplements are meant to be supplements. The word supplement is supplement to everyday life. We believe in our 4 pillars of health: sleep, stress, activity, nutrition. Taking control of those 4 things before you dive too far in the supplement world. But we thought it would be fun to talk about some different supplements that we take, as well as things that we think could be beneficial for our clients. Last thing I'll leave you with: don't major in the minors before you major in the majors. The majors are sleep, stress, activity, nutrition. Focus on those 4, and then the supplement stuff will follow. We can incorporate these things in our lives, but know that our behaviors are just as important and actually more important than the supplements we take. Anything else you want to add?
Magnesium taurate is for heart health and blood sugar control.
Yeah.
And the last thing, I just got a question for you. If you were going to recommend, let me rephrase. What's the number 1 supplement that you find yourself recommending to everybody?
Vitamin D3 plus K2,
Okay.
without a doubt. I had somebody recently ask me, what's the number 1 health concern for people that we see? And they thought it was weight. So it's got to be weight, right? It's got to be weight. I think it's vitamin D3 plus K2 because of how many people struggle with mental health and energy crashes. And people don't understand that vitamin D is so beneficial for every process we do. So the number 1 thing by far that I would recommend is vitamin D3 plus K2 probably.
Okay.
Cool. Sweetness. Thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, if you have anything you want to hear from us, leave us comments, leave us thoughts on what you guys want to hear from us. Thanks for tuning in.